Thank you for coming. This is the month is already well on its way. We have our full moon. We've got Izzy, yay! So lots of cool stuff this month. And this month, the whole idea behind this month is that it's like cause and effect. So if you look at our little calendar, you know those little tink 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 balls that we used to play with when we were kids. That when everything has an opposite reaction. So every action has an opposite reaction. But when we can think about this with everything, okay? So even just our breath. My husband and I today, we were kind of doing this practice where he was trying to like match his breath to mine, and I breathe slow, and he breathes faster. And so even just something like that, it's like there's a cause and an effect to that. Melissa's constantly like working to like have these really, really slow breaths. And then, so if we're going to match our breath, then what are we going to do? Am I going to like boost mine up, or is he going to try to drop his down? And then what does that do for us? What does that do physiologically? What does that do for us emotionally? Everything like this just bizarrely has an effect to it. So even something as simple as that. We are reactive creatures, and because we tend to be reactive creatures, we need to work on a regular basis to get out of that state of that reactiveness. And it takes a lot of work, it's like a constant practice. And even when we think we got it all figured out, something else will come up. Where there was we had kids camp today, and there was a gentleman that he's been coming, took it all on, and it's so fun because now his daughter is old enough to be in kids camp. So it was like super exciting. It made me so happy. And but he was telling me like just some things that have been going on in his life. And he said, my wife and I, we have our practices, but it just seems like as soon as we feel like we've got everything okay, and the universe is like, wham, let's see how good your practices are. Let's see, if you're really doing what you say that you're doing. And it feels like that sometimes, I mean, like it genuinely feels like that sometimes. Like everything feels like really good and I'm okay. And then you're like, I'm not okay, and it just feels like this. And so this is why we do these practices, is so that when there is a cause, the effect is not as detrimental inside here or inside here, because it can be. Okay, who's brand new here? 1, 2. Jack. Every week. I love it. Every day is a brand new day, man. It's so awesome. So we've done this practice before, and I feel like it's important for us to try this again, okay? We're gonna do it mildly. We're gonna start, this is gonna be week 1 of this, and then next week will be week 2 of this. So please come back next week if you can, okay? So there's us witnessing our thoughts, and then there's a witnesser to the witnesser, okay? And it's a real in-depth meditation. And I really want to try to get you guys to start working towards this if you can. Last week, we talked about like proper positioning of our body and getting ourselves like set up properly so that we weren't lazy meditators, okay? And so and again, I'm not trying to be like really hard on this, but we're doing a practice. So I take a specific class every week, 3 days a week, the Iyengar class. I am a flow teacher, and I love flow. Flow is fun, right? And I'm a Nidra teacher. Nidra is great because I can be like creative with my voice. But then there's things that you get in a discipline for something that you don't get any other way. So I take Iyengar because it's all about like form, really specific form and alignment. And so everything about it is not just doing yoga, it's like doing the most minute detail down to the first metatarsal of your right foot and your back heel on your left foot, right, Rob? And what's your groin doing and what's happening with your pelvis? And it's like every itsy bitsy little teeny weeny micro thing. And I geek out on that stuff like nobody's business. I love that so much. And then meditation is like, if we can do it like a flow class, or I can do it like a nidra class and just take you like on this big like fun journey and woo, and that's really cool. Or we can do it like a discipline, and we can actually like really try to get good at it. Okay. And so that's what this month is for me. Like my gift for you guys is like, we really are going to get good at our meditation this month, okay? And we started off last week, like I said, with the form. And so we are in the proper positioning. Who was not here last week, other than the new people? Oh, so quite a few of you guys, okay. So I'm gonna just talk on this really, really quickly, but for those of you who have been coming off and on, I mean, you know enough to know. So when we are in a seated position for meditation, the goal is that this central channel, this sushumna line, is straight, okay? So, and the reason for that is because we want the prana to be able to move freely up and down the body. So you have these two channels, you have the Ida and the Pingala, and then they crisscross, the energy lines crisscross up the central channel to the crown of the head. It's just like all those pictures that you see of the chakras and the little lines that go around it, okay? So when you see that, like, those energy pathways like that, what we're trying to do is we're just trying to, in meditation, we're trying to let the prana, our energy, move up and down that central channel so that, you know, we can hit enlightenment. We can all be floating off of our cushions. That is the last meditation of this month. You will all be floating in the air now. Pretty big claim, huh? So, so we want to be. Right, that's right. What's that?
Oh, I have the same one.
Did you go to the Butterfly Museum?
I don't know. My mother gave it to me.
I got mine from the Butterfly Museum.
Oh, I have the exact
Yes. So the way that you get into this position is you think of yourself being pulled up like a marionette by the crown of your head. That will tuck your chin slightly, and then you kind of roll your shoulders up and back and down. So, and your hands can be, let's all make them palms face up this time so that we're all just kind of ready to receive. It doesn't matter if you do chin mudra or not with your thumb and index finger. Okay, so and then you want to kind of like tuck your butt flush down just a tiny bit, and then that should get everything stacked up so your head is over your heart and your heart is over your pelvis, as our beautiful drop car says. Okay? All right, so now you can come out of that for a moment, and I'm going to continue to talk. I don't want anybody to feel like you have to be stuck in that position. So now tonight for this meditation, what we're going to do is we're going to go in, and I use the movie theater. Chris does not like the movie theater. Chris says that when he hears me say the movie theater, he thinks of a dank, dirty, gross movie theater with bubble gum on the seats and pop all over the floor. So if you do not want to be in a movie theater and you'd rather be in the forest or somewhere else like that, that's perfectly fine, okay? And so it's, our thoughts, just to kind of put this into a perspective that you can kind of understand, your thoughts come in here and you think that you are those thoughts. But our goal for tonight, is to just view the thoughts instead of entertain the thoughts and become the thoughts, okay? So that's like, there's one part is the thought. I'm my thoughts. I am this ridiculous movie that's playing out in my head. Then the first transition from that is, oh, no, wait a minute. I can watch the thoughts and I can see them going on, but I don't have to be in them, okay? So just to kind of put things in perspective, you remember when we were doing the chanting a couple of months, or was it last month that we did the beautiful song, the one that we did, the Onamo Bhagavate. Okay, anyway, so I do that in the mornings, and I want you to know that I can do that entire mantra 108 times and still be thinking about a whole bunch of other crap over here amazingly. I can think about work. I can think about kids camp. Oh, that's been on my mind like nobody's business. I can think about all of these things. And so what I have to do then, while I'm even doing that, is the first thing I do is I go and I pull out and I see myself doing my mantra. And then all of a sudden, that little part of me is like watching those thoughts that I'm going through. As I go and I watch those thoughts, the thoughts kind of, they melt and they dissipate. That's our practice for tonight. Is everybody clear as mud? Okay. I'll guide you a little bit and then we're going to zip it and then you'll just be in that space. Okay? All right. So let's all sit up nice and tall. And let your body settle down like we had talked about so that your spine is nice and long. Let's all take a nice deep breath in. And then audibly let it go. So that's that first step. You can just really feel that nice little kind of like letting off steam. Let's all do that again. Inhale in. Just checking in with your posture and elongating the spine a little bit, tucking the chin just gently, not too much. The eyes are closed, but they're not slammed shut. It's a real soft closure. It's almost as if a little bit of light is allowed to come in. Check in with your jaw and your tongue. Make sure that they're both loose. Sometimes it's helpful to have a little bit of a smile on your face. It's good if you can get the teeth not to touch, so teeth separate. So just being aware of the breath for a moment. Taking some time to really dial into the breath. Taking a moment to really witness what's happening with your diaphragm and your chest. What I'd invite you to do right now is just in your mind's eye, envision yourself sitting there as if you had a little, selfie camera that you could see yourself sitting in this beautiful posture. Your face is relaxed. And you can even see the rise and the fall of your chest and your belly. It can even be as if there is nobody else in the room with you. Now, you have an ability to be able to recognize that thoughts are probably still coming in and out, and that's perfectly fine. If you give yourself the space, just like when you were looking at your body, to look at the thoughts in the same way, as if it's a little bit separate from you. Just create a little bit of space each time one of the thoughts comes in. Prevent yourself from judging the thought or the image. It's more in the sense of like a curiosity, like you're just interested in it and looking at it. So let's kind of narrow that down even just a little bit more to any situation that you had earlier today, good or anything. It doesn't have to be anything specific. And instead of replaying it in the way that we normally do, with should-haves or I wish I would have, just allow yourself to only look at it. And then if it dissolves, it dissolves. That's okay. If another one pops up, same thing. Just look at it. This is different than interacting with it or getting into a dialogue with it. And if nothing comes up, nothing comes up. That's okay too. the next thing is to just reconnecting with your breath while you're doing this. It's almost like we're going to kind of multitask within the mindfulness, still being really cognizant of your breathing, refraining from being a shallow breather, nice, smooth inhales and exhales. And then one last little step that you can add in is to bring that imaginary gaze point, drawing your eyes up to where you feel like your third eye is. So it's up between your eyebrows a little bit, up beyond that, and then in about an inch or two. If you feel any type of discomfort in your body, you can do the exact same thing with it. It's just looking at it rather than getting entangled in it. So now just give yourself one more gift of just really checking in with the way that you feel, and maybe the awareness of the vibration of what you feel around you. You can start to bring a little bit of movement, maybe in just your fingers at first, and then start to loosen your back up and your neck, and just let those eyes be the last thing to pop open. So how was that for everybody? Was that hard or easy? How many people say it was hard? Okay. How many people feel like it was a little bit easier? Okay, good. Okay. The more you come, you're going to love it.
I meditate daily, but I lay down. I've got bad knee, back.
Okay.
So
Sit in the chair.
awful for me.
Yeah, grab a chair. Yeah. And then when we sit in a chair, if it hurts your body, sit in a chair. And then when you sit in a chair, get some yoga blocks for underneath your feet if your legs are shorter like mine. And then that way you have right angles, because the right angles will keep everything smooth, okay? Because the goal is, see what happens when we lay down is sometimes we put a pillow or something underneath there and then we start doing this. You know what I mean? And then the more that this is starting to happen and all these little things are starting to like get all wavy, and the channel's not moving. And so this month I'm being tough, Melissa. So
This is your tough. I don't know what.
I know, right? I don't know. I can be pretty tough. You have no idea, Rob. This is an important practice, okay? This is the first step. Like really, really focus on this week, okay? Just kind of be in with yourself. You'll notice, it's funny, has anybody ever heard this phrase before? If you got an itch, you got to scratch it, okay? So the problem is with that is there will always be another itch. And if you cave to the first itch, all the other itches just keep bothering you and gnawing at you and getting you crazy. So if you can be without caving to the itch, you will be happier, okay? So, and I mean that even in the meditation. So I meditate outside right now because it's nice outside, right? And so of course I'm going to do that. And, but I have like a little garden bed right next to me, and there's bugs and stuff that fly around. And so sometimes I'm like, I'm definitely turning into Siddhartha today. And the cobras are going up on either side of me, and pretty soon my head's going to turn into snails. I can feel it. So because they like get on my face and stuff, and I'm like, just going to like muscle through it. And sometimes it works. And I notice that if I don't cave to it, it literally does, it just goes away. And you just don't even notice it. The second we start caving to our little things that are a little uncomfortable, then there's another thing that's uncomfortable, and another thing that's uncomfortable, and another thing that's uncomfortable. And then we're just like, it's like dominoes. It's that cause and effect. Now we're just like, we're in it, and we're not really in it anymore. Okay, just really quickly, I'm going to say one other thing. I'm going to talk about how I know this beautiful girl that she's a beekeeper. And she was showing me a video of her hand completely covered in bees. Really amazing. And were you with her when she would do that?
I got to see it once.
Okay. Yeah, but you weren't like right next to her when she did it.
No, I took the video.
Okay. Oh, you did.
Yeah, I took one of
So it looks like it looks like she's shaking, but she's not. It's all the bees just on her hand and the vibration of it. And so you have to think about the type of calm you have to have in your body to be able to do that, to go in and like gently grab the queen out of a hive and with your bare hand. And she's just a little like speck of a thing. And then just go and take it to another area. I mean, the amount of like trust in herself and in the whole process to be able to do this. It's the coolest thing ever. And so that's like a living meditation in that moment. Do you know what I mean? So what do we do when the bees are all over us? I mean, we go crazy and we start swatting them and moving them, right? So that's what life is. It's like little swarms of bees all around us all the time. And so this practice, I promise you this, if you do this every single day, it will change your life, Okay, it really, really will. I'm not perfect because I don't do it every single day, but the times that I have done it every day for like a month or 2 months, the fiery darts come and I'm totally fine. Okay. Okay, just really quickly in the way of announcements, we have next week is a big weekend, so please, this month is really cool. We have the hike at the end of the month, so and if you want more information about that, please sign up for it, and Quentin will get all the information emailed over to you or texted over to you. We are going up north for that hike. I'm very excited about that. Does anybody know where like Christopher Creek area is up there? It's near there, so it's so beautiful. It's only like an hour and a half long drive, so it's really not that bad. There will be carpooling for that. Then we have 2 events next weekend that are really important. If there's a way that you can do both of them, I strongly, strongly encourage it. Okay, so the first one is that we have Nestle coming up from Tucson. She does astrology work. And her thing is like, how do you get the planets to actually be your friend? Because, when people talk about retrograde this or that and and things are such a bummer. And like right now it's full moon and sometimes that like makes things hard on people. And so she knows how to trick the deal on the planets and get it so that like they actually work in your favor. And there's a huge transit coming up with Venus. Please don't expect me to understand or explain all of that to you because it's not my thing. I pay somebody to do that for me. And I'm happy to learn that. Just like I don't need to know everything. I don't. People ask me about oils. I'm like, I don't care. Like I like the oils. You tell me. Go talk to Misty. Misty knows oils. I don't know oils. I don't care. Do you know what I mean? But like so it doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It just means it's not my thing. So I don't know anything about this stuff other than the fact that I know that it works. And so she's going to make it so that this transit for Venus is like working in everybody's favor. So it's a 2-part workshop. Part of it's on Saturday, the other part of it's on Sunday. She will be doing a little bit of chart work with you, so reading parts of your chart and stuff so that you know how to do that. So the first part on Saturday is, I think it starts at like 12 o'clock and it goes to like 2:30 or something like that. And then Sunday is the same thing. You don't have to go to both of them, but so you can sign up for half or whatever. Then Saturday night, Job Car is doing our gong work, and that is really important. We do this at the every year at the solstice, and so twice a year is when we do it, and it's a good cleanup. It's awesome, isn't it, Kitty? Job Car, Kitty is her real name is Kitty, but she goes by Job Car, it's her spiritual name. And she's so talented at that gong. I mean, it's just like amazing what she can do. So it will completely reset your central nervous system. So big things this weekend. Is that it?
What time on Saturday?
What time is that thing on Saturday? Is it? The gong, I think, is at 7. Yeah.
And Nestle's Saturday, Sunday is...
It's like 12 to 2:30 or something like that. Yeah. And then there was something else I really wanted to tell you guys. If anybody wants to take their practice to the next level, go to some of our classes. For those of you that have never ever taken any yoga classes here, I really strongly encourage that you take like Kundalini or Qigong or the breathwork class. If this resonates with you, like what we're doing here resonates with you, to take your practice into movement and do something else with it like that is really, really powerful. Right, Rob? Right, Misty? Yes. 100%. Yeah, I mean, like it'll blow your mind. So anyway, we have 10 days of unlimited yoga for only $29 for anybody who's never taken a class here before. What's that?
That's a bargain.
It's like, I mean, we're just giving it to you. So like live here for 10 days, meet with Quentin or any one of our staff people. So Rebecca can help you, Wendy can help you. Amalia's not here right now, but Rebecca, Wendy, and Quentin can help you. I can help you. And Amalia in spirit. She's in Costa Rica right now having the time of her life. So, all right, everybody, we'll see you.